Now, why Sun Prairie Police had to ramp up security tonight at the Sweet Corn Festival. And we'll show you how the Reedsburg community is helping the students getting ready for a brand new school year. Plus, the latest from rallies and protests in Portland, where 23 people were arrested.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. Sun Prairie Police are putting extra officers at the Sweet Corn Festival tonight after a fight that happened last night. Amy Reed joins us to explain what happened and what police are doing to keep it from happening again tonight.
It was only a little earlier than this last night when two teen girls got into a fight, and quickly 30 to 40 of their friends gathered around to egg them on. But then Sun Prairie Police stepped in, and now they're making sure that everyone knows that's not welcome here tonight or tomorrow.
Serious? Chris Gansky hit record when she saw what was happening. Two teen girls, 13 and 15, fighting while their friends watched.
It was horrible to see it because it's not right. You take your children to go and, celebrate the end of the summer, school starting again, and you have to deal with them seeing that.
In the video, you can see police jumping in quickly to break things up, which organizers were grateful for. They said this is the biggest disruption the Corn Festival has had, and they and police want people to know it's not okay.
It angered me that individuals come to an event, a family event like this, and create that type of situation when it's not necessary. It really is not necessary to behave that way.
Both the girls who fought were arrested for disturbing the peace. The 15-year-old tried to hit the officer arresting her, which added an extra charge of resisting arrest. No officers were injured. Today, police increased their presence, and they plan to do so through the night.
Zero tolerance. We're just not going to put up with that type of behavior. It's just not acceptable for a family event. And if you're going to come here and engage in that behavior, you're not going to be welcome here, and you're going to be arrested, and you're going to have those consequences, and you won't be part of the park.
Chris appreciates the extra presence because it makes her feel safer, but she said parents aren't teaching their kids how they should behave, and until something is fixed on that front through repercussions or even a chaperone system, she's not sure she wants to come back once the sun goes down.
I don't think we're going to do the night thing anymore. Even though it was fun for the little ones to see the lights, that's over and done with, I think. For sure.
Sun Prairie Police say this incident seems bigger than it was. In the grand scheme, it was pretty minor, and it shouldn't deter families from coming out and enjoying the festival tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much, Amy. Let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield with your first alert forecast. Dave, we have some storms on the way?
Yep, during the overnight hours, Amanda, and early Sunday morning, some powerful storms could be here across southern Wisconsin. Doppler track is quiet for now, but it won't remain that way for very long. Some storms out to the north and west, causing some severe thunderstorm watches and warnings across portions of the Dakotas and into Minnesota. That line continues to move to the southeast overnight, impacting southern Wisconsin early Sunday morning. Madison and the WISC-TV Skycam looking at partly cloudy skies right now. Temperatures are in the low 70s in Madison and in Janesville, upper 60s in Lone Rock and Viroqua, 70 degrees even in Platteville. Dew points are plenty humid to help fuel those showers and storms tomorrow morning. It just depends on where a warm front sets up in relation to that line that is moving closer to us. So hopefully we can dodge those heaviest showers, but there is definitely the chance of some powerful storms tomorrow morning. But by the afternoon, I think we'll dry out with temperatures in the mid 80s. We'll talk about some cooler weather on the way for next week in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. More local news now. Two teens are in jail after a city camera helped Madison police break up a drug deal last night. Officials say they saw on a camera a 17-year-old boy and an 18-year-old boy in the middle of a drug deal just after 7 o'clock. Police say they made contact with the teens on the 100 block of West Mifflin Street and found cocaine on the 17-year-old and in the cooler he was sitting on. The 17-year-old was charged with party to a crime and a probation violation. The 18-year-old was charged with possession of cocaine with intent to deliver. Around the state, according to police reports, the underground bunker where a fugitive hid for more than 3 years was first reported to law enforcement 9 months ago. Tom Nelson was hunting on the opening day of gun deer season last fall when he called the Marathon County Sheriff's Office to report what looked like a bunker in the side of a hill. He also reported a man acting suspiciously and that the bunker looked like it'd been lived in for years. According to Marathon County Sheriff's Office notes, Nelson said he was going to try to find the GPS coordinates to give to authorities, and squad cars were dispatched to the area. However, the bunker was never found.
The description they were given was 3/4 of a mile north of Poplar Lane. 3/4 of a mile could be a vast area as you continue furthering out into the woods.
Nelson says he offered to show officers to the bunker, but that was not included in the official notes. Nelson returned to the bunker August 9th and found Jeremiah Button. Button fled in 2016, weeks before he was scheduled to stand trial for child sex assault and child porn charges. He's due back in court next month. A Milwaukee family found an unwanted guest when unpacking their groceries this week. The Allen family says there was a frog in the lettuce they picked up from a Milwaukee Pick and Save. Carly Allen says she was making dinner with her family when her brother noticed the frog.
Holy moly, this is happening. I'm thinking, one, what the heck? How did that get in there? And two, that is absolutely disgusting.
The family planned to return the container of Simple Truth organic lettuce and the frog, but say it escaped overnight and was perched on an outlet by their kitchen counter. Later, Allen returned the lettuce to Pick and Save and received a refund. Simple Truth apologized to Allen in a tweet saying, "We're so sorry that the Simple Truth produce had a live frog inside of the carton." Roundy's Pick and Save's parent company said in a statement, quote, "These situations happen from time to time when organic products are involved." The effects of a loved one taking his or her own life are far-reaching for those left behind. One Wausau student whose close friend died by suicide earlier this summer wanted to take action to bring something positive out of the situation.
It wasn't my idea. His cousin came to me and she was saying, "What can we do to make a difference?" And she's like, "Maybe we can have information on the back of student IDs." I'm like, "That's brilliant."
That information is the Suicide Crisis Hotline that will be printed on the back of every student ID card at Wausau West High School. Thanks to a fast-tracked process, the ID cards are already done, so students can have a possibly life-saving tool in their hands this fall. 2 Native American tribes in Wisconsin are receiving federal grants for renewable energy projects. Members say the grants from the Federal Office of Indian Energy Policy and Programs will help reduce costs and lead to energy independence. The Bad River Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, and O'Donnell received a nearly $1 million grant. The Forest County Potawatomi community in Crandon got a grant for more than $1.5 million. Officials say the grants will be used to install solar panels at tribal buildings and save tribes millions of dollars in energy spending over the next 25 years. Several far-right groups held a rally in Portland, Oregon today. That was while members of Antifa, a left-wing movement opposed to fascism, took to the streets at the same time. Police confirmed they arrested 13 people in relation to the protests. Jonathan Vigliotti has more.
A city on edge as groups from the far right and far left took over downtown Portland.
They come here to try and cause trouble, and we don't want that trouble here.
Protesters marched through the city's waterfront park.
This is the Portland Police Bureau.
Mostly kept apart by heavy police presence. Portland's entire police department, nearly 1,000 officers, are all on duty today as they try to maintain peace here, making some arrests. The far right planned the event weeks in advance as a demonstration against what they called domestic terrorism, with counter-protesters showing up as well. A familiar scene for this city, with protests in recent years turning violent. So far today, police say they confiscated several weapons, including bear spray, shields, and metal poles. One protester was filmed spraying mace. But by and large,
Do not touch it. You can't do nothing.
Today was mostly limited to a war of words.
Crowds have mostly dispersed, but there are some protesters now marching in the city as police remain on alert. Officials say the community is relieved by the relative peace kept so far. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is speaking out for the first time since deciding not to visit Israel. She's upset she won't visit her 90-year-old grandmother in the West Bank.
More than anything, I'm a granddaughter.
Tlaib has called Israel's policies toward Palestinians oppressive and racist. She and fellow Democrat Ilhan Omar were scheduled to visit Israel this weekend. President Trump has been feuding with the freshman lawmakers for months and called for Israel to block the trip earlier this week.
I think it would be a terrible thing, frankly, for Israel to let these two people who speak so badly about Israel come in.
Israel reversed its decision after Tlaib appealed on humanitarian grounds to be able to visit her grandmother, but Tlaib ultimately canceled her visit, saying that Israel had imposed restrictions meant to humiliate her. President Trump tweeted, quote, "Tlaib obnoxiously turned the approval down, a complete setup. The only real winner here is Tlaib's grandmother. She doesn't have to see her now." Tlaib's grandmother shot back, saying she was excited her granddaughter was coming. Attempted murder charges were filed today against the man accused of shooting 6 Philadelphia officers during an hours-long standoff on Wednesday. Other charges against 36-year-old Maurice Hill include multiple counts of aggravated assault and assault of a law enforcement officer. He also faces counts of assault of a law enforcement officer, reckless endangerment, gun possession, and drug conspiracy. The filing comes 3 days after Hill allegedly barricaded himself in a house when police tried to serve a narcotics warrant. He's due back in court on September 5th. Jeffrey Epstein's lawyers are threatening legal action. They're, quote, not satisfied by the medical examiner's claim that their client died by suicide late yesterday. Epstein's lawyers said, quote, no one should die in jail. They're promising to conduct their own investigation into the circumstances and cause of Epstein's death. Epstein was taken off suicide watch about 1 week after an apparent attempt on July 29th. Then last Saturday, around 6:30 in the morning, he was found unresponsive in his cell. This week, the FBI and the Office of the Inspector General also launched probes. As gun safety rallies are held across the nation this weekend, the last of the 22 people killed in the El Paso mass shooting 2 weeks ago has been laid to rest. Today, hundreds gathered for the funeral of 63-year-old Margie Record. Record's husband, Antonio Basco, invited the public to mourn with him 2 weeks after the shooting at the El Paso Walmart. The couple had few relatives, and Basco had expressed concern he would say farewell to his wife alone. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 10, find out how Stoughton celebrated some of its first women today with a coffee break.
At
This weekend, kids are getting ready to head back to school. That could break the bank for some parents, but some Reedsburg churches are working together to send kids back to the classroom with all the necessities. Touched Twice Clinic is an open house that gets families ready for the new school year by providing free supplies, clothes, haircuts, food, and more. Their name, Touched Twice, symbolizes them helping in two ways. The first, the free goodies, and the second, by building community relationships.
There's a lot to choose from, for one. It's easy to go through. There's usually familiar faces. Some of the volunteers I actually remember from previous years.
Participants are guided through the clinic with a companion who helps the families get what they need, and if they choose to, in the end, will help connect them with a local church that can be a resource to them all year round. Many kittens and cats are moving into their loving homes today because of Earthwise's 2-year anniversary celebration. The Pet Center celebrated by inviting 9 Lives Rescue to hot dogs for cool cats. The rescue takes in abandoned and homeless cats and gives them to foster homes who care for the cats until they're adopted. Vendors like SAR's Promise and N&D Pet Food came to celebrate and support the rescue's adoption mission.
Don't shop, as the saying goes. We always have kitties, and the more we can adopt, the more we can save.
In an effort to support health fees for cats at 9 Lives Rescue, hot dogs and brats were sold. All proceeds were donated to the rescue. When women of Norwegian descent started working at the Gunderson Tobacco Warehouse in Stoughton in 1880, they took a daily break to cook dinner, check on the kids, and make a pot of coffee. Today, Stoughton celebrates its history in its 22nd annual Coffee Break Festival, which holds a coffee tasting contest between 7 companies. The competitors have to brew their coffee the same way and absolutely no decaf allowed. Coffee enthusiasts are the judges, and some of them have quite a taste for the drink.
Oh, the very first thing I do every morning is go down for a cup of coffee. And I love it. It starts my whole day off.
Stoughton takes its coffee seriously, but strives for a community-focused and fun festival. Coffee lovers won't be seen a break in the festival anytime soon, as Stoughton plans to continue celebrating its caffeinated history. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Dave, when you're drinking your coffee tomorrow, the storms might be a little severe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of free caffeine, as it were, with an early wake-up call possible with some of these powerful showers and thunderstorms. Already we're seeing severe thunderstorm watches spread to the east across portions of Iowa and Minnesota. So this line continuing to march to the south and east, and it will impact southern Wisconsin during the early morning hours of Sunday. And some of us, if we have early morning plans or even into the mid-morning hours, still could be dealing with some pretty strong showers and thunderstorms. We do have a slight risk of severe weather for portions of southwestern Wisconsin, closer to Madison. That's a marginal risk, so level 1 and level 2 out of 5. We still could be looking at some pretty gusty winds of about 50 to 60 miles per hour, depending on the interaction with that line of showers and thunderstorms with a warm front that could be forming in the area as well. So we'll watch that closely, but be ready for some boomers and shakers as we head into tomorrow morning. So that is when our rain chances really maximize, from about 4 to 7 a.m. tomorrow, and then that line goes down to the probably dry section pretty quickly, so at least that's some good news. We'll get these showers and storms out of here fairly fast. However, as we get into the afternoon, we'll still be humid but dry with temperatures in the mid 80s and partly sunny skies. Similar story on the way for Monday, but we keep that dry weather with us until Tuesday. Madison, on the Edgewater Skycam, a few clouds starting to filter in across portions of Dane County. Today's high of 81, just about normal for this time of year. So really a textbook kind of mid-August day across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures right now have fallen into the low 70s in Madison and in Janesville, upper 60s in Lone Rock and Viroqua, and 70 degrees even across southwestern Wisconsin. Dew points are in the mid 60s and low 70s, so that humidity has come up once again compared to yesterday. That could provide some of that fuel that the storms will need as they come through overnight, and could provide them with some energy to help keep those thunderstorms, at least on the powerful side, Temperatures in the mid-80s for Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. We'll call it low to mid-80s. That 83 is always, depends on who you ask, what meteorologist you ask, if it's the low or the mid-80s. But we are looking at the upper 70s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so a little bit closer to normal for this time of year. We lose some of that humidity, and we get plenty of sunshine in store. Overnight, temperatures in the upper 60s, mild and muggy with scattered showers and thunderstorms, but those storms get out of here by the time we get to the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-80s, warm and humid by the time we get on the backside of the lunch hour tomorrow. So on Future Track, we notice this line still holding together on this latest run of Future Track as it gets into southwestern Wisconsin. And that the timing is going to be around 5 or 6 a.m. It gets into southwestern Wisconsin, maybe a little bit before that, closer to Madison by about 7 o'clock. Then we are dry for Sunday afternoon and for all of Monday with temperatures in the mid-80s for Monday and also on Sunday. Anywhere from about a quarter to a half an inch of rain can be expected from these showers and storms. Just depends on how long those downpours hold together. 7 to 10 day forecast showing those showers and storms returning for next weekend as well, with temperatures back into the low 80s for next Saturday and Sunday.
Shouldn't ruin your plans too much tomorrow, especially if you sleep in on Sundays.
May have a few extra bags under the eyes because of those thunderstorms coming through so early, but not too bad.
Not too bad. All right, thank you so much, Dave. We've got a slugfest in D.C. tonight. Highlights from Brewers and Nationals next in sports.
All right, so the Brewers and Nationals evidently saved all of their runs for tonight. Both bullpens struggling a bit, though, and so far, 15 pitchers used between the two teams. We pick it up in the top of the ninth. Brewers down 11-8. No big deal. The MVP is here. Christian Yelich with home run number 40 of the season, cutting the deficit to 2. Two batters later, Mike Moustakas at the plate with Keston Hiura on second. And bye, that ball is gone for a 2-run home run. We are tied at 11 now. Then next up, here comes Ryan Braun. He wants in on this wacky slugfest. His second home run of the game to give the Brewers the 12-11 lead. And this is the first time Nationals pitcher Sean Doolittle has ever allowed multiple home runs in one outing. But the Nationals get one back to tie it up in the ninth, but that's all they would get because Josh Hader slammed the door on Anthony Rendon. Right now, we're in the top of the 11th, folks. It's tied at 12. Ryan Braun up at bat as we speak. Cubs and Pirates in Pittsburgh before they play their final game of the series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania tomorrow night. We pick it up in the 7th in this one. No score until Chris Bryant getting a solo shot off of Steven Brault. And it's 1-0 Cubs up first. Then in the 8th, no outs, runners on the corners for Tyler Chatwood. That ball getting away, so Ian Happ scores 2-0. Cubs win with that final score. Rubber match is tomorrow. Packers wide receiver Jamon Moore posted to Instagram today that he is doing okay after he was in a car crash yesterday on Highway 29 near Green Bay. His car reportedly had some severe damage on the driver's side, and the team said they are aware of the crash but didn't have any updates as of this afternoon. Meanwhile, the rest of the Packers are getting ready to head north to Winnipeg to play the Raiders on Thursday, particularly Aaron Rodgers. He's excited for this one. Head coach Matt LaFleur says he is scheduled to be back on the field tomorrow, but even when he's not on the field, he's still valuable, according to offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett.
Aaron's such a cerebral guy, you know. I mean, he wants to know everything, and he wants to understand the system in and out. So I think for him, it's just, we just have to always push him mentally, whether he's out there or not, and always kind of test him, push him, because I think that's something that he thrives on and he loves. And I think that when it comes down to that, I mean, he's played a lot of football in his career, and I think it's just about continually pushing him mentally.
And third round of the BMW Championship in Illinois, Tiger Woods on 16. The long birdie putt puts him at 7 under. Tiger shooting a 67 today, tied for 31st. But Justin Thomas was on fire today on 18 here. The approach from 180 yards out for an eagle. He shot 61 today, breaking the course record by 2 shots, finishing the day at 21 under par. That is a 6-shot lead. Ryan Braun still up at bat right now for the Brewers. He has a full count. And it's going to be a late night for the rest of Brewers fans. Because they're on East Coast time, too. Yeah, it's going to be a late night for them.
They're going to be up a while. Yep. All right. Thanks so much. We'll be right back. Yogis at Hilldale Mall added a new animal pose to their routines this morning. Today was the very first goat yoga event at the outdoor mall. Participants did a yoga class while goats from a local farm roamed around. Some did their yoga alongside the goats. Others paid more attention to the adorable animals. Hilldale officials say it's all part of a fitness initiative at the mall. This is very in. Never tried it, but it looked cute.
It's cute, yeah.
I mean,
It's cute.
those
Do it for the
goats are
Instagram,
pretty
I
nice.
guess.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be a goat scream tomorrow. It will be some thunderstorms tomorrow that could be coming through. Some could be a little bit strong, but we're dry by the afternoon.
All right. Have a great night.